Do you ever feel like your life is a constant frantic chase? You're chasing approval, chasing success, chasing a quiet moment that never seems to arrive. What if the answer isn't to run faster, but to stand still? What if the greatest power is found not in speaking up, but in becoming silent? Stay with me, because the final realization we will uncover is the one that allows everything to finally fall into place. Chaotic noise. We live in a world that is addicted to noise. It is a constant bombardment, a ceaseless symphony of opinions, expectations, and demands. From the moment you wake up, your mind is pulled in 1,000 different directions. The notifications on your phone are like tiny, insistent whispers from the outside world, each one demanding a piece of your attention, a fraction of your energy. You scroll through the lives of others, a curated gallery of achievements and happiness, and a quiet pressure begins to build within you, a pressure to keep up, to perform, to broadcast your own existence so that you are not forgotten. This external noise becomes your internal monologue. The voices of society, of your family, of your peers, they echo in the chambers of your mind until you can no longer distinguish them from your own. You begin to make choices not from a place of authentic desire, but from a place of avoiding disapproval or seeking validation. You take the job that sounds impressive, not the one that kindles a fire in your soul. You stay in relationships that drain you because the thought of being alone seems more terrifying than the slow erosion of your spirit. You measure your worth by metrics that you did not create: likes, followers, promotions, the size of your home. Each one is another layer of sound, another distraction from the fundamental questions. Who am I, really? What do I truly want? This constant state of reaction is exhausting. It is like being a small boat tossed around on a stormy sea, your direction dictated by the whims of the waves and the wind. You have no control. You are simply reacting to the next big wave, the next gust of wind. You spend your days putting out fires, managing perceptions, and trying to balance the endless, conflicting expectations that are placed upon you. The result is a deep and pervasive sense of anxiety, a feeling of being fundamentally out of alignment with yourself. You feel a profound disconnect, as if you are playing a character in the movie of your own life, reading lines that someone else has written for you. You may not even realize how much this noise is costing you. It costs you your peace. It costs you your clarity. Most importantly, it costs you your connection to your own intuition, that quiet, knowing voice within that has always been there but has been drowned out by the chaos. You become so accustomed to the noise that the silence feels uncomfortable, even frightening. But it is in that very silence, in that space that you have been so desperately avoiding, that your true power and your true path are waiting to be discovered. The first step is not to add something new, but to take something away. It is the brave and radical act of turning down the volume of the world so you can finally hear yourself think. This noise convinces you that the power is out there. It tells you that happiness is something to be acquired, that peace is a destination you must fight to reach. So you join the frantic race, believing that if you just try hard enough, shout loud enough, and run fast enough, you will eventually grab what you are looking for. But you find that the more you chase, the more it recedes. The more you grasp, the more it slips through your fingers. This is the great illusion of the chaotic world. It promises fulfillment in the external, while the entire time the key has been within you, buried under the deafening noise of a world that does not know what is best for you. Only you can know that. Silent retreat. The solution then is not to find a better way to navigate the noise, but to consciously create moments of profound silence. This does not mean you must retreat to a monastery or abandon your life and responsibilities. This is an internal retreat. It is the act of deliberately carving out a space in your day, in your mind, where the outside world is not invited. It is a sanctuary that you build for yourself, brick by brick, with each conscious choice to disengage from the chaos and turn your focus inward. It is a journey from the head, which is filled with the world's noise, to the heart, which speaks the quiet language of your soul. At first, this silence will feel deafening in its own way. When you turn off the television, put down your phone, and simply sit with yourself, you will be met with the frantic chatter of your own mind. All the worries, the to-do lists, the replayed conversations, the anxieties about the future, they will all rush in to fill the vacuum. This is the withdrawal. Your mind is so accustomed to the constant stimulation that it doesn't know what to do with the stillness. The temptation will be immense to pick up your phone, to turn on some music, to do anything to escape this internal discomfort. This is the most critical moment. The practice is to simply sit with it, to observe this mental chatter without judgment. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a river, watching your thoughts float by like leaves on the water. You do not jump into the river to grab them. You do not try to stop them. You simply watch them come and go. You acknowledge them. Ah, there is a thought about work. There is a worry about a bill. And you let it drift away. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. This simple act of detached observation is incredibly powerful. It creates a space between you and your mental conditioning. In this space, something remarkable begins to happen. As you continue this practice day after day, the river of your thoughts begins to slow down. The frantic chatter subsides. The waters become clearer. And in this newfound clarity, you begin to feel something else, a deeper presence, a sense of calm that is not dependent on your external circumstances. This is your true nature, the peaceful core of your being that was there all along, buried beneath the noise. Silence is not an absence of something. It is the presence of everything. It is the fertile ground from which your true self can finally begin to grow. This silent retreat is an act of profound self-respect. It is you telling the world and yourself that your inner peace is a priority. It is you reclaiming your own mind from the endless invasion of external stimuli. You start to find this silence in small moments. While you drink your morning tea, you just drink the tea. You feel its warmth, you taste its flavor. You are not planning your day or scrolling through emails. You are simply present. When you walk, you just walk. You feel your feet on the ground, the air on your skin. You are creating a life where you are the master of your attention, rather than its slave. This is the foundation upon which everything else will be built. Inner compass. As the waters of your mind become still, you start to notice something that was impossible to see before. The gentle, unwavering pull of your inner compass. Every single person is born with this. It is your intuition, your gut feeling, your soul's internal guidance system. For years, its needle has been spinning wildly, thrown off by the powerful magnetic fields of external opinions and societal pressures. The noise of the world was so strong that it interfered with your own signal. You were trying to navigate your life using a broken instrument, wondering why you always felt so lost. In the silence, the needle begins to settle. At first, its movements are subtle. It might be a quiet feeling of yes when you think about a certain path, or a gentle feeling of no that manifests as a knot in your stomach when you consider another. It doesn't shout, it whispers. This is why you could never hear it before. You are looking for a loudspeaker, but your guidance system is a subtle hum. It is the feeling of rightness, of alignment that you experience when you are doing something that is truly for you. It's the feeling of ease and flow, a stark contrast to the feeling of resistance and struggle you feel when you are moving against your own current. Learning to trust this inner compass is a practice. It requires courage. The world will present you with logical, practical reasons to ignore it. A job offer might come with a great salary and prestige, and everyone around you will tell you that you would be a fool to turn it down. Your logical mind will agree, but your inner compass, your gut feeling, might be whispering a quiet no. It might sense that the environment is not right for you, that the work will drain your spirit. To listen to that whisper over the roar of external validation is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Each time you honor this inner guidance, its signal becomes stronger. You are creating a feedback loop of trust with yourself. When you listen to your intuition and it leads you to a positive outcome or protects you from a negative one, you learn to trust it more. The more you trust it, the clearer and more reliable its guidance becomes. You start to make decisions with a newfound confidence, not the arrogant confidence of the ego, but the quiet, solid confidence of someone who is deeply connected to their own truth. You no longer need to poll your friends or seek endless advice because you are learning to access the ultimate advisor within you. This inner compass will never steer you wrong. It may lead you down paths that seem illogical or unconventional to others, but these will always be the paths that lead to your own growth and fulfillment. It is a guidance system that is calibrated uniquely for you. It knows your deepest desires, your greatest strengths, and the lessons your soul came here to learn. The noise of the world wants you to follow a generic map, one that promises a generic form of success. But your inner compass is a map to your own personal treasure, a treasure that can only be found by you. The silence is what allows you to finally read that map. Releasing grip. One of the most profound shifts that occurs when you focus on yourself and embrace silence is that you naturally begin to release your grip. What are you gripping onto so tightly? You are gripping onto outcomes. You are trying to control how people perceive you, how your career unfolds, how your relationships develop. This constant effort to manage and manipulate the external world is the source of immense stress and anxiety. It comes from a place of fear, a fear that if you let go, everything will fall apart. You believe that your constant effort is the only thing holding your life together. The truth is, this tight grip is the very thing that is creating resistance. Imagine you are trying to catch a butterfly. If you lunge at it with a clenched fist, you will either miss it or crush it. But if you sit still, hold out your hand, and offer a place of peaceful landing, the butterfly may choose to alight on its own. Your life and the opportunities within it are much like that butterfly. Your desperate, controlling energy repels the very things you seek. People can feel it. The universe can feel it. It is an energy of lack, of force, and of mistrust. Releasing your grip does not mean becoming passive or lazy. It is not about giving up on your goals. It is about releasing your attachment to a specific outcome and a specific timeline. You do your part, you plant the seeds, you water the soil, but you surrender the outcome to a higher intelligence. You understand that you cannot control the weather, the seasons, or the exact moment a flower will bloom. You do your work with presence and dedication, and then you let go. You trust the process. This is an act of profound faith, not in an external deity, but in the natural unfolding of life itself. This surrender is incredibly liberating. You are no longer carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You stop trying to force doors open. Instead, you walk down the hallway of your life and you gently turn the handles. If a door is locked, you don't waste your energy trying to break it down. You trust that it is locked for a reason, and you calmly move on to the next one. You begin to work in partnership with life rather than in opposition to it. You realize that you are part of a much larger dance, and your job is not to lead, but to listen to the music and follow the steps. When you release your grip on controlling others, your relationships transform. You stop trying to change people or make them fit into the box you have designed for them. You allow them to be who they are. This gives them the space to be their authentic selves around you, and it frees you from the exhausting and impossible task of being their manager. When you release your grip on your career, you become more open to unexpected opportunities. You are not so fixated on one specific path that you fail to see the beautiful detours that life presents. Releasing your grip is the ultimate paradox. In letting go of control, you gain a far greater sense of power and ease. You allow life to flow through you rather than trying to force it into a channel of your own making. Gravity's pull. When you stop chasing and start focusing on your own inner state, a strange and wonderful phenomenon occurs. You stop being the one who is constantly reaching out, and you become a center of gravity. The things that are meant for you begin to move toward you, seemingly on their own. This is not magic. It is a fundamental shift in energetics. Your desperate, chasing energy was a pushing force. It was frantic and needy, and it repelled opportunities and people. Your new energy, calm, self-assured, peaceful, is a pulling force. It is magnetic. Think of it this way. When you are focused on yourself, you are cultivating your own garden. You are tending to your soil, pulling the weeds, and making your inner world a beautiful, vibrant, and nourishing place. You are not running around to other people's gardens, trying to steal their flowers or demanding that they admire your work. You are simply focused on your own cultivation. And what happens to a beautiful garden? It naturally attracts bees, butterflies, and admirers. They come to it because it is a source of life and beauty. They are drawn to the energy it exudes. You don't have to chase them. This is how your life begins to reorganize itself. The right people start to appear. You will be in a coffee shop, calmly reading a book, and someone will strike up a conversation that leads to a meaningful friendship or a business collaboration. You are not trying to network. You are simply being yourself, and your authentic energy is a beacon for other authentic people. The wrong people, on the other hand, begin to fade away. Those who were drawn to your drama, your neediness, or your people-pleasing nature will no longer find a foothold in your new energy field. They will drift away naturally without any need for confrontation or painful goodbyes. Opportunities begin to land in your lap. An old colleague will call you out of the blue with a project that is perfectly aligned with your new sense of purpose. An idea will come to you in a moment of quiet reflection that becomes the foundation of your next creative endeavor. This happens because you are no longer cluttering your mind with anxious striving. You have created the mental and emotional space for inspiration to arise and for serendipity to occur. You are in a state of reception, open to the gifts that the universe is trying to send you. When your hands are clenched in a desperate grip, they cannot receive anything. When your hands are open in a state of trust, they are ready to accept the abundance that flows your way. This is the meaning of everything falls into place. It is not that life becomes perfect or without challenges. It is that you become aligned with the natural flow of things. There is less resistance, less struggle, less effort. It feels less like swimming against the current and more like floating downstream. You have stopped trying to impose your will on the universe and have instead aligned your will with it. You have become a source, not a seeker. And by a fundamental law of nature, the universe flows towards a source. Your focus on yourself and your own inner peace has made you a powerful magnet for all the good that is meant for you. Patient observer. The mindset that sustains this entire process is that of the patient observer. You transition from being the frantic, emotional protagonist in the drama of your life to being the calm, wise witness of it. This is a profound shift in identity. You realize that you are not the storm. You are the sky that holds the storm. The clouds of emotion, the winds of circumstance, they pass through you, but they are not you. This detached perspective gives you a level of clarity and wisdom that is impossible to access when you are caught in the middle of the drama. As the observer, you watch your own life unfold with a sense of curious detachment. You see your own patterns of behavior, your emotional triggers, and your conditioned reactions without judgment. You might notice, when this person says that, I feel a surge of anger. Interesting. Before, you would have simply become the anger. Now, you observe it. This space between the stimulus and your reaction is where your freedom lies. In that space, you have a choice. You can choose to react in the old, habitual way, or you can choose to respond from a place of calm and conscious awareness. This practice of observation extends to the world around you. You watch events unfold, you see people make choices, you witness the ebb and flow of fortune and circumstance, but you are not so easily pulled into the fray. You understand that most of what happens is outside of your control. The only thing you can truly control is your own inner state, your own response. This frees up an enormous amount of mental and emotional energy that was previously wasted on worrying about things you could not change. You stop resisting reality and start accepting it for what it is. Patience becomes your natural state. You are no longer in a rush. You understand that everything has its own timing. A seed does not sprout the day after it is planted. A wound does not heal in an instant. You learn to trust the process of incubation, of gestation. You do your part, and then you patiently wait and watch, knowing that the forces of life are at work in ways you cannot see. This patience is not passive. It is an active trust. It is a deep-seated knowing that things are unfolding as they should, even when you cannot see the full picture. By becoming the patient observer, you develop a sense of deep peace. You are no longer at the mercy of your moods or your circumstances. You have found an anchor within yourself, a place of stillness that is unshakable. You see the bigger picture. You understand that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. You see that perceived failures are not endings, but course corrections. You are playing the long game. You are not focused on winning today's battle, but on cultivating a state of being that brings you peace and fulfillment for a lifetime. You become like a wise old tree, deeply rooted, watching the seasons change, unbothered by the passing storms, confident in your own strength and in the endless cycle of life. True alignment. What does it truly mean for everything to fall into place? It is not the sudden arrival of a perfect, problem-free existence. It is not winning the lottery or achieving every single goal you ever set for yourself. It is something far more profound and sustainable. It is the experience of true alignment. It is when your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values begins to perfectly match your outer world, your work, your relationships, your environment. There is no longer a painful gap between who you are and how you live. This alignment feels like a deep sense of rightness. It is the feeling of coming home to yourself. The decisions you make feel effortless, not because they are easy, but because they are true. There is no internal conflict, no second guessing, because you are acting from your authentic core. The career you pursue is a natural expression of your passions and talents. The people you surround yourself with reflect and support your highest self. The way you spend your time is a conscious choice that nourishes your soul rather than a frantic reaction to external pressures. When you are in alignment, you experience a state of flow. Life ceases to be a series of struggles and obstacles. Instead, it becomes a dance. You are moving in harmony with the rhythm of the universe. The right opportunities appear at the right time. The people you need to meet cross your path. The resources you require become available. This is not because you are lucky, but because you are a clear channel. Your aligned energy resonates with the energy of your desires, and you attract them effortlessly. The universe is always seeking harmony. When you become a harmonious being, the universe conspires to support you. This does not mean that challenges disappear. You will still face difficulties. However, your relationship with them changes completely. When you are in alignment, a challenge is no longer a catastrophic event that throws your entire life off course. It is simply a part of the path. You see it as a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger, or a test of your commitment to your true self. You meet it with a sense of calm and resourcefulness, knowing that you have the inner strength to handle it. The challenges do not break you, they refine you. They are like the pressure that turns coal into a diamond. The most beautiful part of this alignment is that it is not a destination you arrive at, but a state you inhabit. You have stopped seeking validation from the outside world because you have found it within yourself. You no longer need others to approve of your choices because you are guided by your own inner compass. The frantic need to prove your worth dissolves, replaced by a quiet confidence in who you are. This is true freedom. It is the peace that comes from knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing, and being exactly who you are meant to be. This is the place that everything was falling towards all along. Effortless flow. And so we arrive at the final, most powerful insight, the one that ties everything together. The great secret that you discover in the silence is that all the effort you were expending, all the striving, the chasing, the forcing, the controlling, that was the very thing holding you back. You thought your struggle was a sign of your dedication, but it was actually a symptom of your resistance. You were trying to swim against a powerful river, exhausting yourself in the process, when all you ever needed to do was turn around and float with the current. The ultimate power is found in effortlessness. This is the paradox that the quiet mind understands. It is not the effortlessness of laziness or apathy. It is the effortlessness of a master craftsman who has practiced for so long that their movements are fluid and precise. It is the effortlessness of a tree growing towards the sun. The tree does not strain or worry. It simply does what it is designed to do. Your focus on yourself, your journey into silence, is the practice that allows you to become that master of your own life. You are shedding all the conditioning and false beliefs that made you think you had to struggle. When you operate from this state of effortless flow, you are tapping into a power that is far greater than your own limited ego. You are allowing the intelligence of the universe to move through you. Your intuition becomes sharp and clear. Your actions become inspired and effective. You do less, but you accomplish more. This is because your actions are no longer born from anxiety and fear, but from a place of deep alignment and purpose. One inspired action from a place of flow is more powerful than 1,000 frantic actions from a place of desperation. This is why, when you focus on yourself and stay silent, everything falls into place. You are no longer obstructing the natural order of things. You have removed yourself as the primary obstacle. You have stopped trying to micromanage the universe and have allowed it to do its work. You have become a conduit for life to express itself through you. You realize that your only job was to get your own ego and your own noise out of the way so that something more beautiful and intelligent could emerge. The world will continue to be loud. It will always try to pull you back into its chaos, to convince you that your worth is measured by your productivity and your visibility. But you will have discovered a sanctuary within yourself, a place of unshakable peace and quiet power. You will no longer feel the need to shout to be heard, because you will be content in your own silent knowing. This is the ultimate destination of the inner journey. It is not an escape from the world, but a new way of being in it. It is the discovery that by becoming nothing, you become everything. And in that quiet, empty space, you finally find the effortless flow you were always searching for. The world will keep shouting for your attention, demanding that you participate in its frantic race. It will tell you that silence is weakness and that your value is in what you produce and what you project. But you have learned a deeper truth. The real power is not in shouting back, but in cultivating an inner silence so profound that the noise of the world becomes irrelevant. Your focus is your most sacred resource. Place it on yourself. Nurture your inner garden. Trust the unfolding, for in that quiet space, you will find not only yourself, but the entire universe conspiring to support the person you were always meant to become. I've been practicing this for a few months, and it's eerie how it works. The moment I stopped explaining myself and just focused on my own peace, the toxic people slowly faded away, and a job opportunity I didn't even apply for landed in my lap. It's like the universe rewards your silence. Anyone else experience this?